Hacktoberfest is a month-long contest. It is not one day or two. It is a totally a month-long contest of open source software run by DigitalOcean in partnership with other large tech companies. Hacktoberfest is open to everyone in global community. Be you a student or a professional or anything else, you can participate in Hacktoberfest. It is kind of very popular because everyone gets to win something or something in this contest. And it is very easy to participate also. The barrier is very low. Just let me see if I can turn off the headphone please. Noise goes around. Is the has the noise level reduced? Has the noise level reduced? Yes, I have some audio issue. Sabyasachi, in the meantime, if you can just continue, I will reserve the audio and come back.
Yeah, I'll continue. No issues. Hope I am audible. Am I audible? Give me a yes or no something. Okay. Okay. So Shomalada already told about Hacktoberfest. What is Hacktoberfest? Now, before coming to Hacktoberfest, what is open source? Okay. Now, think about a software. Think about something you're making, but you don't know how to make all of it, or you don't know all the features it is going to have. Imagine you made some of it, right? Now, others can have ideas how to enhance it. Others can have ideas how to add better stuff to it. Others can have ideas how to validate that it works, right? So open source software is software that is not made by one person and it is not hidden to other people. For example, if we take things like Facebook, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, these are not open source because we cannot see the code that is running behind them. Whereas apps like VLC, then Firefox, these are open source. If you go to GitHub or any open source, if you just search it up on Google, you will see all the code that runs behind them. Now, you might ask me at this point that why isn't someone copying it then? If it is available online only, if everybody can see the code, why isn't someone just copying everything that VLC Media Player has made and making another VLC Media Player? Because the thing is, there are licenses and stuff like that. Okay. So the thing is, at the end of the day, when you make open source software, you have to keep some things in mind. You have to make the software as best as possible, and you also have to keep scope for improving so that people can contribute to it. Okay, so that is pretty much what is open source software. And yeah, these are pretty much why people use open source software. See, you have control over the software. I'll tell you why you have control. This comes later. Firstly, let's talk about security. Suppose you make a software, but you don't know all the test cases that will it have. Okay, suppose it has some test case that you know it will fail, but you cannot implement that test case. Somebody else from around the world can see that software, add the test case, and get on with it. Okay, while you're doing that, you will add stability to the software because it means that in some test case, it will pass where it would have failed, right? At the same time, if you are helping others to build the software, you're technically training yourself, or if you're a project maintainer, then you're training others in that domain itself. And at the end of the day, since it is open source, you have control over the whole source code only, right? So these are the main 4 points why open source is used. Yeah, as I said, these are some popular things that open source software have, like Linux. Every Linux distro out there except one or two is pretty much open source. VLC, Android is also open source. As I said, Firefox, Python, the whole language is open source. I don't know if you know, Google Summer of Code also hosted Python out this year. So if any one of you would like to join next year, then you could literally make some functions in Python that everybody could use, and WordPress, of course. Well, thing is, how can you contribute to open source software? Well, we'll come to that, but before, Let's name some open source software programs. Well, firstly, of course, this is about Hacktoberfest. So we have Hacktoberfest before all. And also, you have Girl Script Summer of Code, you have Social Summer of Code, you have Google Summer of Code, that is GSOC. You have many others. Well, some of them are open. You can basically just come and start doing like Hacktoberfest, or you have to get selected to do it. Well, Hacktoberfest doesn't have any selection criteria. You can just start off right away. All you have to do is come and contribute to the community. Well, there are two main things that we use when we take open source software. One is Git. Okay, this is the symbol of Git, Git, Git. And the second is GitHub, right? GitHub is a place where we can use Git mercilessly. The thing is that Git works both offline and online, but GitHub actually is a totally online thing. When you're sharing things, right, doing it without the online feature is very hard. So GitHub works online. Git is the concept, GitHub is the place where we do it. With that being said, let's show you how to raise a PR. How many of you have seen the repositories that we have made? Anyone? Come on, guys, give me something. Okay, okay. Okay, so let's go to the repository that we have. I'll tell you about. Okay, so as you can see, these are the repositories that we have, right? These are all marked here. Any repository that has the tag of Hacktoberfest, right? You will see the tag. You will go to any repository, you will see this tag, Hacktoberfest. This tag means that you can contribute to this and get one PR accepted, right? So now your question might be, how do I contribute? Well, here it is. Firstly, come to the repository that you want. How do you select the repository? I'll tell you later. What repository to contribute in, I'll tell you. This is the process. First, you press this fork. Fork means whatever the current situation of that repository is, whatever the current files and folders of the repository is, you are technically creating a clone of that exact thing in your GitHub account. Okay. So let's fork. You can change the name, it doesn't matter. So once I fork it, you will see that the account changed to my account. And this whole thing, everything that was there is now under my account. But it will show that I've forked it from GDSCTM itself. Okay, so that original creators get some credit. Now, once you have forked it, you can add something, right? Now, firstly, before adding anything, you have to see what are the issues. Let's go to the original repository. This is the issues tab. Okay. Here you will see what the creator or what the project maintainers want you to do, want you to add. You see, there are things like you can add more resources, you can improve the structure, you can add some questions, right? If you see that there are no issues or you have an idea that something you can add or something you can make better, right, you can just create an issue, right? You can create an issue from here. I'm not creating an issue right now, but you can do it if you want to. Let's just make an issue, right? Let's name this test issue. Now the thing is, when you make an issue, don't explain the issue, why you are making that issue. Okay, because a project maintainer will come and see why you have made that issue. Why are you wanting to change something in the repository? Because as of that point, the repository might be perfect. If you are making an issue, it means that you are suggesting some change. Explain the issue. So I'll say issue made for explaining the PI process. Okay. Now this is our issue, not much of a problem. Now once you have done this, someone will assign this to you. Okay. Now in this repository, we can control it. So the thing is, I can assign this to myself, but at any point, what happens is the Project maintainer will see the issue that you have made, and then he will decide if he wants that issue or doesn't want that issue. If he wants that issue, then he will assign it to you like this. You see, I just got assigned this. It means I can start working. If he or she doesn't want that issue, it means he will close the issue. He might give some explanation, might not give some explanation. It is generally explained why the issue is closed. Okay, that's the process. Okay, so let's go back to the repository I just forked. You see, I forked this. Okay, now this means that I have an exact copy of the repository in my account. Okay, now I'll show you the short way of adding something. You have github.com, right? Just to github.dev. See, I didn't clone, I didn't do anything. Directly in my web app, directly in my web, I can see an editor where I can add stuff, remove stuff. Okay, let's just this load. If this loaded pretty fast, but if you have big repositories, it might take a bit of time while loading. Don't worry about it. It's just a GitHub issue because it's Hacktoberfest going on, so a lot of people are doing it. Waiting for GitHub. Let's see. Okay, so you go here, and the first thing you do before anything, first thing you do is create a new branch. Let's duplicate this so I can show you. Now you might ask me, why am I creating a branch? You see, there's only one branch here. What does a branch mean? Imagine a tree. Okay, imagine a tree. A tree has leaves, it has fruits, it has flowers, things like that. Now imagine that tree having a different branch. That different branch is a part of the same tree, but it might not have any fruits. It might have more number of flowers than the main branch, things like that. It is a part of the main thing, but with different properties. That is why we create a branch. Because imagine at any point, if something in your code goes wrong, you don't want the whole thing going wrong, right? You just want your stuff to be wrong, whereas the original is good. It's almost like a backup plan, but imagine 500 people doing it, so 500 branches. So a backup plan for everyone. Okay, now while naming a branch, you just saw how I created a branch, right? I clicked here, main, create a new branch. Now, what you're adding depends. What your branch name will be depends on what you're adding. So let's just name this test branch. Okay. Once you create the test branch, you can just switch to the branch. This means now I'm working in the test branch only. Don't need this for now. Give me a moment. Yeah. Yeah. Switch to test branch. And as you can see, yeah. Okay. So firstly, before doing anything, you can see this is the readme. This is what will appear right here. See, open source software, the best thing about open source software, you can just see how it is working. Everything that is going inside, you can see how it is working. Okay. So this is the code. And before that, you will see contributing.md. You will see this file. Okay. Let's see what this file is stating. You see, there's Hacktoberfest. Now, read contributing.md very nicely, because this is the place where it will tell you how to contribute to that repository. Not just for this project, for any repository that you see. Contributing.md is very important. Or it might be named as contributors, contribute, something like that. But country will be there. Okay, so let's see. It is telling us to, okay, we have raised the issue and everything. We have also been assigned the issue. Okay, so I'll show you how to do it. So first, as you can see, this is the repository that we have, and what this repository basically does is this has some questions with the link to the question, the YouTube video or any approach video to that question, and the code of the question, right? So let's add one. So as you can see, I can go in code. I have one ready right here. I have one ready. So this is readme.md. You see, this is the preview that I'm getting. See this tag? It says edit below. So do not change anything above this, right? Not change anything above this. Okay. Let's add something. Now the question I'm going to add is set matrix zeros. Okay. You see the first column is there. Second is lead code, the lead code link. Okay. So let's write lead code. This is how you add a hyperlink to a markdown file. Okay. You first give third brackets. Third brackets will what it will show you, right? And then in the first brackets, you will add the link. So let's see, add lead code here. And I will just copy this link right here. You see, this is the lead code question link. Yep, I just added. So let's click on this. Let's see where we go. You see, I'm going to the link. We just hyperlink this. Okay, this is done. Let's add the YouTube then. I've also copied one of the YouTube links. You can just copy any video. If you want, you can make your video, upload it. Same thing, no worries. Okay. Now we have to add a code here, right? We have to add a code. Let's see how we add the code. I have already solved the problem right here, as you can see. Let's copy the solution. My solution is in Java. Your might be different. There are folders for everything. If you want, you can make a new folder with some other language. So let's just add set matrix zeros.java. Okay, here's the solution. Save the file. It's important to save the file. Now I have to find this file here. Okay, it's a part of my repository only. So let's see. Let's write Java. Now see what I'm doing. I will not add a link. Dot means my current folder. Slash means the folders inside the whole folder I'm seeing. You see, I have codes. Next, I go to Java. Next, I go to set matrix zeros. Now, if I press Java, see, set matrix zeros open. Okay, I'll show you this once more. See, we are Java. Java is the name of the link I will have, right? Dot current folder, dot everything under the current folder. You go to codes, you go to Java, go to matrix. Your question name might be different, things like that. Don't worry. But this is the process how you add. Okay. Now, this repository is like this. There are other repositories where the contribution guidelines might be different. It will be clearly written how you have to contribute. Okay. Now, once this is done, you will add some. See, you see, these are changes. It automatically detects what changes I've made. We have to add some commit messages so that the uh, project maintainer understands what we have changed. Okay, let's see. If I'm just change this, if I just added the question, I will write maybe something like write proper commit messages. Okay, so that they understand what you're doing. Let's say added solution to set matrix zeros. Okay. So that file, see that file right there just went under the, okay, let's see. We have a branch, right? We have a branch. Let's test. You see, I added this file. I added this file, and right now, and it says added solutions to set matrix zeros. Now you see the second file isn't here. The readme hasn't changed. There is no set matrix zeros here because I haven't staged and committed it. Let's stage it as well. Commit, edited readme, commit this as well. Now let's see what happens. You see, we have set matrix zeros. Now let's go to the original repository. This is the original repository where I forked from. You see, nothing has changed here. Everything is same. Why is that? Because even though I have changed in my repository, the thing is the changes are only in my repository. The changes have not reflected in the original repository because my original repository doesn't know that there has been changes. Okay, so let's compare and pull request. This is the place where you will see that the code that you have changed can be sent to the original base repository. That's why you see there is a base repository that is GDIC TMSL project algorithms, and from that the main branch, I will give the code from my head repository, that is my name slash project algorithms, and from which branch? Test branch. You don't have to worry about all these. These will already be shown once you press that button, that is compare and pull request, this button. But once you write the PR, you will add something relevant, okay? Because there are 100 prs, there are 100 prs when you see in the in big projects, right? Now a project maintainer doesn't have all the time to check each code of every PR. What he or she will do, he will just come, see, okay, these are the changes he has made, this is the process he has went through, good, let's merge. Okay, so I'll added set matrix zeros question, and I'll also write this closes some issue, because you remember we made an issue, right? There are issues and pull requests. Now I have to say which issue this is referring to. Once you give a hash, you will have all the things. You see, I can already see there is something known as test issue. I created this right now, test issue. So this closes test issue. What did you do? I added the set matrix zeros question, the link, and the code. This is what I did, right? You might explain it much more if you want to. This is a simple repository. There's nothing much to explain, but if you want to, you can explain much more. You can also add screenshots. I'll show you how to add screenshots right now. Suppose you have this, right? Take screen snip, screenshot something, and just paste it. Okay, you see, the screenshot has been added. If you want, you can add screenshots. Now let's just create pull request. Okay, now you might see this issue has been made. Now let's go to the issues and see, is there something different? You see there's test issue. You see, I mentioned this issue 20 seconds ago, right? This means that if somebody comes to this issue and see there's a test issue, they'll come here and see, okay, I've made a pull request also. So it means I have worked on this. As a project maintainer, you will come here and just see that, okay, this guy has added solutions to the set matrix zeros question, and this guy has edited the readme. Okay, very good. A project maintainer, what he might do, he might just merge the pull request. Right? After the pull request has been merged, now see what happens in the original repository. You see, there's set matrix zeros. And there's also the code that we just added. There's this code. Where did it go? Yeah, set matrix zeros. Added 5 minutes ago. That is all the process how you go through a pull request, right? Now I'll show you some things that you shouldn't do while making pull requests. These are two pull requests that there are. You see, this person added the pull request, but what he did was didn't add any link to the README file. Okay, so things like this might happen when you are contributing. So you might forget to do something, but then the project maintainer will ask for a change. You change it, and then you again request a review right here. Okay, and once the issue is done, you can just close the issue. You can close it yourself also. Since you raised the issue, you can close it yourself also. Okay, so this issue has been closed, and you have yourself a new question right here. This is a very beginner friendly repository. If you want, you can contribute. Otherwise, you have other repositories. You see, this is the algorithm repository. This is the main repository. I'll just send the link right now. Now, in this repository, what happens is you have the list of repositories you can contribute to. And other than that, you also get the explanation of the projects and everything. So you can contribute there. Yeah, and any questions do you have so far? I'm just sending the repository link once here. For Hacktoberfest, you will need about four merged PRs to get your t-shirts. If you have any questions, you can ask me, or otherwise, I'm going to go to a quiz. Quiz is going to be interesting. No questions? Okay. So let's see if you remember. Let's see if you remember how to contribute. Now, this is a small, just just a small chart of showing you how to contribute. So, firstly, I told you how to see what project you're going to select. Firstly, you can do three things, three main things that will work, right? First, see what you're interested in. Suppose you say you are interested in machine learning, right? Find machine learning repositories. Find things like, find these tags. You see, everyone has these tags, right? Find tags like this. There's, let's see, there's if machine learning is there. Okay, no worries. Some repositories might have tags, which you'll see. Just search for tags like machine learning, all of GitHub. You see, you have all of machine learning repositories that you can see. Right, you can do that. Or you can match your tech stack, right? Suppose you like Python. So maybe have Python. Suppose you like Java. Search Java, right? And after you have done that, the first thing is that once you check out the repository, find out how you can contribute to that repository. For example, if you see that everything in that repo is good, nothing can be changed, then don't do anything, just let it be. If you can find a problem, if you can find any way to change or improve that repository, then go for it. How do you do that? You again raise an issue. Now, I haven't shown you before, but once you are raising an issue, right? Once you are raising an issue, something like this might happen. Let's see. Suppose two or more people find the same issue. Suppose I want to add lead code questions. Right, I search for lead code. You see, there's already an issue created by someone adding three medium problems. Hey, that means you will not create that issue. What you can do is go here and ask the project maintainer to assign you that issue. Right. Now, after that, after you've been assigned, you start working. Basically, you start working. Remember to make a branch. As I said, name the branch something apt. Right. Don't name it something like new branch. Don't name it something like, hey, I'm contributing. No, name it something else so that among 1,000 branches, the contributor can understand what that branch or what that particular segment of code that you have written is doing, right? Suppose I'm adding a question of lead code, so let's name it a new lead code question, or maybe you can name it the question itself, set matrix zeros, things like that. Now, after you make that branch, you get coding, okay, and you commit to your branch only, right? Guys, give me a moment. Hey guys, I'm back. I guess we have some questions. What are the prerequisites? Prerequisites to what? If you're talking about prerequisites to contributing, pretty much none. Open source is such a place where there is nothing known as a beginner and an expert. Okay, so if you start contributing to anything, you don't even need to know how to code. As I just show you, did I code anything? All I did was add one lead code question. What did I do? I solved the question. I had a YouTube video. I added the video, and I added the link to the question. Bus. If you do know how to code, if you do know how to change something in the repository, if you do know how to improve the repository, then you go for it. You just clone the repository and you add something. In this particular repo, is there any limit on the number of questions and answers one can add or contribute to? Okay. No, pretty much none. There is no sort of limit. You see, if I want, I can create a million issues, but that's not good practice. But the thing is that you can if you want to, and try to when you're contributing, right? Try to contribute in some chunk. Don't add one question. I just showed you for an example. Don't add one question because that is one issue, one PR, one branch. Everything is recorded in Git. So try to add a little bit of effort into whatever you're putting, right? And this is a simple repo. If you see some of the other repos we have, if you check out some of the other repos we have, like let's see the face mask detector. Here, there isn't anything such as like non-code. You have to code something. You see, as of now, you can see there are issues. There are some issues that you will see. Now, these issues you can assign, you can ask the project maintainer to assign you these issues, or maybe you can add some issues. Suppose this is a simple issue. Someone asked, is there any prerequisite? See, there is. You all you have to do is add comments to the code. That is the thing you have to do. Do you think there is a prerequisite? And let's see some advanced repositories. You see, this is a very advanced repository, and if you understand the code, you can pretty much contribute to it. And the best thing about contribution, I'll show you in a bit what is the best thing about contribution. Is there any other questions? Don't think so. For Hacktoberfest, you will need 4 PRs. 4 PRs is like the minimum. After 4 PRs, you can go anywhere. If you want 400 PRs, 4,000 PRs, no problem. At the end of the day, don't focus on getting swags and stuff. Focus on contributing. Focus on open source. You see, you remember Three Idiots, right? Don't focus on things like success. Focus on excellence. We can work on the issue until the no. The thing is that if the maintainer approves it, it means he or she wants the thing to be worked on. Suppose you have a table, right? Suppose you have a table. Okay, you have a table. That table is your repository. Okay. Now someone comes and asks to you, hey, may I put this bottle on the table? Or would you like me to put this bottle on the table? Okay, that is the issue. That is the contributor asking, do you want me to add this or can I add this? Okay, if you being owner of that table says yes or no, then only you can put the thing on the table. Otherwise, it is not a very good practice. It will not end in a good way to add. things on the table. This is Git. You cannot change anything to the original repository without the access of the owner. And don't worry. Usually, the thing is, project maintainers are very active. So, any issue, any PR, they'll get it right away. Any other questions? I think if you have questions, just go for it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay, so what I was saying is, after you have made your commits to the branch and you have coded everything, you send a PR. I just showed you how to send a PR. Now, in the PRs, what generally happens is there is a chance that the project maintainer might think that you have not added something or something is missing, right? There is something else changes requested. What it means is basically the project maintainer wants you to change something. Okay. Now you might ask, so I have to change, right? So will I fork the repo again? Then I no, you don't do that. What you have forked, the branch you have made, it is fine. If the branch has not been merged, it means that you can add commits to it, and it already has a pull request. It means that everything from that branch will be pulled to the main branch. So whatever commits you add to the test branch or the branch that you have created will be pulled. So all you have to do is make some change to the test branch or the branch you have made. Okay, so you just add commits, you do not make a new branch, and then you wait for approval. If approved, then the PR will be merged, your issue is done, and you have a new PR in your hand. Make 4 PRs and you will have a t-shirt also. Shomaloda, can you show your t-shirt once? Is Shomaloda here? I don't think. That's fine, no issue. Anyway, you can search up the t-shirt on Google. It's a pretty good looking t-shirt. Something good to have. Something better to have, I'll show you. Something better to have is this. So if you contribute a lot, right? If you contribute a lot, you see, you will have this green graph. It's good to go green. So you see, everything that you do will be shown here, right? So once you become a good open source contributor, it also counts towards your exposure. You get a lot of networking opportunities. People get to know you. They get to know you're a good coder, you're a good problem solver, and you can contribute to repositories. If you also contribute to good organizations like maybe Google, as in Google Summer of Code, or maybe even Firefox, then you will get swags and you will get internship opportunities as well. I'm not kidding. You have to make 4 PRs on 4 different issues, right? Yeah. One issue can have more than one PR, but the thing is that at the end of the day, think about it. If there is one person, will that one person will add 4 bottles on the table? Don't stop at 4 PRs. You can have more than 4 PRs. Don't think like only 4 PRs will do things. Can you name some good open source to contribute to? I didn't get your question. Open source communities, open source projects. If you're talking about projects, then our projects are open source only. All of this you can contribute to, except the Android Compose can. Everything is here to be contributed to. Just open any one of them, understand what is going on in the code. Everything is pretty much explanatory. Understand, create an issue, make a PR. And if you pretty much open, you will also see that how to make a PR is already added. You see, how to make a PR is added. And if not, there are also YouTube videos. You can just search on YouTube and see how to make a PR. Basically, yes, you can contribute to anything with the Hacktoberfest tag, but as I said, do not run towards the t-shirt. Run towards excellence. Okay. try to contribute for the sake of open source, for the sake of actually contributing to open source. Don't contribute, hey, I am just going to in Hacktoberfest. Don't contribute for that. Yes, Hacktoberfest is fine. Hacktoberfest is here to introduce you to open source. It is here to get you open to more opportunities, uh, bewaring just from your college. Okay. Yes, good first issues are labels that are shown in the issues. Show you. You see these issues. You see this is a good first issue. What it means that this is good for newcomers. Okay, this is where these good first issues means that it is very easy to be worked upon. Okay. As for open source communities, you have a lot. Every community that you see on GitHub is pretty much open source. Other than private repositories, pretty much anything. If you guys have any questions or you want to see something, if you want to see more PRs, something like that, just tell me. I'm here. Firstly, try to understand the code. Once you get the repository what you want, right? Understand the code what is working. Sometimes it also happens that someone is trying to add something that shouldn't have been there. So you're fixing a bug. That is also an issue. It's a bug fix. And honestly saying, I've seen literally people who have done 2 days of open source being contributing to GitHub itself, being contributing to uh, Google, and I mean Google, the community Google, their open source programs. I've seen them contribute to Firefox. So, like, yeah, don't limit yourself in any way. Just go for it. So, what do you think? How many of you are raising a PR right now? Don't raise a PR. Actually, raise an issue first. Anyone? The last date of actually finishing this is 30th of October, I guess. 30th of October, or is it 31st? 31 days. So 31st of October, I guess. Within 31st October, you have to raise 4 PRs, at least 4 PRs, and then you are pretty much good to go. I'll be waiting for another 2 minutes if nobody has any questions. So we'll end it right here.
So basically, I guess you can show them the Hacktoberfest profile, how the PRs are tracked in there.
Oh, yes, of course.
Is
Let's
my is
see.
my mic good right now? I don't know.
Yes, yes, it is fine. You can see the hacktoberfest.com. So you have to start hacking. Here it will actually not come to this page. It will actually show you to authorize with GitHub. Once you have authorized with GitHub, it's pretty much fine to go with. I have 11 PRs waiting. Okay, once you've made a PR, it takes 7 days. It will take 7 days for the Hacktober team to actually verify that the PR you have made is a good PR. Okay, so they will verify it, and pretty much that. Other than that, you can join their Discord. You can pretty much see what events they have some events also. You can see the rules you have to check out while contributing. Yeah, if you have not registered yet, just register it for right now. Register right now, because you can register up till the last date also, but the thing is that don't try to push it at the end, otherwise. Yeah, definitely contact me. I'm in the GDSC group only. No issue. You can contact me on GitHub as well. If you tag me on GitHub, I'll be happier. So there's nothing more to show in the screen share, so I'll just close the screen share as of now.
So such I guess we can talk them about the some of the spammy PRs that goes in, which can be labeled as spam, and if they get labeled as spam, they will be disqualified. I guess
Oh yes, of course. Give me a moment. I'll share my screen. Yes, it's sharing. Okay,
that's
so
like a pretty big red flag.
yes, what happens is some of you, not some of you, I'm saying some of the PRs which come right as a project maintainer. Imagine there's a big repository and we have to check a lot of PRs every day. Now we'll be going through every PR, right? Now what happens is if someone changes even one line of code, they changed one line of code, added one space, and then they are committing, then we don't have the time to check and if they added one space. But if it is the case and it is making no benefit to the repository or changing nothing, then it is tagged as spam. As spam, like in WhatsApp, what is spam? It is useless stuff. It is irrelevant, not required stuff. The same way, if you're trying to add stuff that is not required, if you're trying to add things without the maybe without any intention of doing benefit to the repository, then it is marked as spam. If you can see, go to the Hacktoberfest website. They have told us about these spam. Let's see. See, your PRs must not be spammy. Okay, you can check this, and every PR that is maybe a spam, we'll add a spam tag to it. I'll show you what is a spam tag. See, there's this create merge ordered list. It's labels, and we have our. There isn't a spam tag, but we can just add a spam tag. No worries. You can see in the issues as well. Okay, we have invalid, right? We have invalid. Same thing. You see this invalid tag. Okay. So if at any point the project maintainer thinks that the uh, the changes that you're making isn't right, then they can add the invalid tag also. With invalid or spam, the Hacktober will detect it and not take your will also not take your PR into consideration. You can see it can contain the word spam or it can contain the word invalid, right? So as I said, go towards quality. Quantity is fun, but try to make quality PRs. Okay, try to add nice PRs. Try to see what to change, because at the end, if you, I'm telling you one thing, if you actually contribute, right, your name will be right here. Your name will be right here. There's only me right now, but if you actually contribute to it, your name will be here. Your profile picture will be here, and everybody can see. Okay, you contributed to this GDSC repository, and it's a pretty big deal when it comes to your open source profile. Anything else anyone wants to ask or wants me to show? Guys, go check out our projects. What do you think? If you want, you can add your projects, no issues. You can add your own projects. It will need to go through an approval process. You just submit the request for adding a project, and once we see that it is okay to add that project to our Hacktoberfest repositories, we'll just add that project. Okay, so I don't think there is anything else to do. So if you have any questions, you can just contact any of us. It's fine. And I guess we'll wrap up at that then.
Yes, I guess we can call it a day. Right. Guys, if you have any questions, any kind of questions, just drop it in the chat box. We are just here for 2 to 3 minutes. We will be happy to help. if you think that you have a like a quality project which you want to showcase to the public through us, you can mail the GDSC official mail address, and we will be looking to your projects. And if you get through our quality checks, we will contact you and we will let you know that we are presenting your project through our profiles. Or you can just go to our project website. Okay, I guess we just forgot to show the project website maybe.
Oh yes, I didn't show the project website.
We have a pretty big project, pretty good project website. You can find all the projects there, and there is also a form to submit your projects.
You see, this is a project website. We have our own website as well. So there are algorithms, salad ingredients detector. You can check out all the projects here, and there are links to it. You can contribute directly from here. I'll send the link in the chat again,
We will also send the link to the WhatsApp group also, and there is
and
a link like feature your project there.
you
There
can
is a
click
big
here,
blue button.
submit. See, there's a Google form. You can submit your own projects if you want. No issues.
So I guess no one has any questions. So
Yeah, I guess everybody is busy contributing, busy raising issues right now. Okay, guys, I'll leave you to it then.
guys, have a good day.